My name is Kathleen Hore and I am a publicist for Secret Service Public Relations out of Brisbane.
My name is Nick Smethurst. I run a small concern called In Finland Productions, which does anything and everything it's required to do as need necessitates. So,
and you're also in a band. What band?
I'm playing a couple of bands. I play in a band called Lion Island, another one called Epithets.
And you've worked in the music industry for a while, and you've had a bit of a...
Yeah, since I was, 15, 17, so...
I'm pretty new to the music industry, but I, I'm lucky enough to work out of an office that has a wealth of knowledge that spreads from management of bands to label to publicity and, to doing festivals as well, such as Splinter in the Grass, having people like that in our office is fantastic.
Cool. And now you've just done a panel called Music as a Service,
yes,
where there was a variety of subjects were raised, and you two were the gobbyists, which are good.
Oh, were we?
You must have been there at the bench.
Oh no, yeah. So
got a lot to bring to the table. So if you could just summarise what the main points made,
sure.
that'd be great.
So Music as a Service was around all the things to do, all the different elements of the music industry, such that I guess, you could possibly work in, and kind of touched on each of those elements. It didn't really go into any particular one in much detail. So we covered things like booking bands from a band perspective, or booking bands from a venue perspective as well. We dove right into management, whether you do need management was a big debate.
What sort, how intensive?
Yep, what sort, how intensive management, and what good management is and what bad management is, and where sometimes things can cross the line. What else did we go into?
The APRA and
copywriting debates, licensing and that sort of thing.
Yeah, basically, where it's necessary to make sure that venues are paying their proper licensing costs, and the same thing for when bands are signed up to the appropriate organisations such as APRA. And then we also went into things such as do it yourself, like thinking outside of the box to get attention for yourself, whether it's in marketing, or whether it's to sell a product, or whether it is to get attention from record labels, or whether it is to get attention from booking agents as well.
And what can work in the 21st century in the new climate of the music industry in order to help successfully establish a brand without appearing contrived.
Yeah, that's right. And we also, interestingly enough, stepped into the debate too of sometimes putting a brand to your band. There's some great brands out there, such as Levi's and General Pants, that sort of thing, that are giving Mountain Dew as well, which are giving bands the opportunity to be able to put singles out and that sort of thing in places that they couldn't before. So
I was amazed that no one argued about that.
Yeah, that was kind of straight down the line.
Well, everyone seemed to be shared in the opinion that if you can get money from somebody, you should probably take it, as long as it didn't impede your creativity.
Yeah, but that was a big point, though. I think that getting your you don't want to be with somebody where your creative control is
compromised.
Exactly.
I was quite interested in the fact that you were talking about Brisbane, and the fact when people start getting a bit of success, they do one to one of the...
Everyone leaves.
Which is a massive shame, because being from Manchester, people are quite sort of loyal to the Manchester scene and don't bugger off to London.
Well, Brisbane people are loyal to the Melbourne scene from the outset. It's like everyone aspires to replicating our southern cousins, when in reality I think this city's got an inimitable identity that really should never be tampered with. And I mean, people always seem to end up coming back here after they've done their little sojourn elsewhere.
Yeah, I think there's also there's kind of this romantic thing of going to a bigger city, but Brisbane now has caught up definitely in the venues that it provides, and also in the interest that punters are now having with local music. So I think that, as you said, people do still want to go there, but after they've been there, realise that they have to do all the hard groundwork again to try and break in again. So they may as well come out of Brisbane. And also, I think Brisbane, now that there's different ways to share music, which is much more accessible, Brisbane is getting much more of a bigger name for itself, and it means that people are now acknowledging that they do have to come to Brisbane as part of their tour plans to, make sure that they quench our thirsty punters as well.
I mean, the analogy I find myself using and overusing time and time again is that in Brisbane you are a bigger fish in a smaller bowl. and in terms of getting recognition as an artist, there are opportunities presented here that just, I don't think anyone really realises are so amazing. Like, you go to Melbourne and you could be one of 100 similar sounding bands. If you're here and you're doing it well, somebody will notice, because there's not much else.
And also, you know, you don't have to go to. There have been plenty of bands that haven't moved out of Brisbane that have done really well. So, you know, I think it is just a romantic thing.
I didn't know the Bee Gees were from Brisbane.
Yes,
I
Bee
was
Gees.
impressed.
Redcliffe.
Bee Gees. Yeah. Keith Urban's from around here as well. The Saints, guys who started punk rock.
And they did too. And
yeah,
I would argue this
Sex
until its death. Before the New York Dolls.
Before the New York Dolls, before the Sex Pistols, we had punk
here.
coming out of Brisbane, which is, yeah. So, you know, but then again, those guys kind of did move on, but there's a lot of bands, yeah, that have stayed. The Go-Betweens.
Yeah.
Just to give, for myself, a foreigner who doesn't know how big is Melbourne or Sydney in comparison, size-wise to
Brisbane's
Brisbane?
inner urban area is 1 million and a larger area of 4. Melbourne is an inner area of 4 million and a larger area of 12 to 16, depending how far you want to stretch city limits.
Quite size then.
And Sydney's bigger again.
Right. I thought that Brisbane is the fastest growing city though.
Yeah,
fastest growing capital city. So
this is something that nobody seems to be capitalising on yet. There are thousands of people moving here each month.
Yeah.
And yet you still see the same 20 people at shows. So I think that's the next major development in Brisbane music, is to figure out how to better widespread our product in a friendly way.
Do you mean suburban pub rock?
I mean that if there's a taste out there for international music of
right.
an indie variety, like, you know what I mean.
Totally.
People,
I thought you were saying that we should start setting up
no.
venues out in the suburbs, which would be great.
Oh, it would be great if people would
hard.
support it, but they don't. But I mean, if there's a taste for, I'll use a relevant due process example. If there's a taste for Mumford and Sons, then people should be listening to Cascadier.
Yeah,
a local Brisbane band who are not the same, but they are similar.
Yeah, totally.
And they are doing it, in my opinion, almost as well. But yet people, there's still this massive bias as well against local music. I know people who've openly come up to me after shows and said, man, I don't like any local bands except for you guys, and that is just the worst thing I've ever heard. It's so typical of this closed Brisbane approach.
Oh, I think you've given Brisbane a bit of a hard rap.
Oh, I'm the cynic. That's why people ask me on the panel.
Remember, you're talking to an international audience here.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Big up Brisbane.
To be fair, the bands are incredible, and the people who do support are unbelievably loyal. Like,
yeah, I'm very supportive.
On a level that I can't even begin to understand, except for the fact that I was that guy too. I go to all my friends' shows. I'm always right up the front. And it's those people who do it that keep it alive. And I hope they stick around. I hope.
And there's people who are quite music savvy in Brisbane. People who do have their finger on the pulse and know the bands that they should be seeing, and will go to Sydney if some of the Sydney bands aren't coming up, just to see those bands. I think there is quite a passion coming out of Brisbane at the moment for